How is everyone doing on this Saturday morning? I just had to look at the date, but I forgot.
You forgot already?
Yeah, April the 27th at 8:06 a.m. here in Central Alabama. Here we go.
Now we can see.
Now we can see.
Yep.
And we're going to begin by dogs barking, it sounds like.
Getting it started this morning.
That's okay.
We would like to apologize that we missed 2 lives in a row.
One was planned, one was not.
That's right. Of course, we had the meet and greet that went wonderful last Saturday.
It did.
Met a lot of people. I think California and Massachusetts was the furthest.
That's right.
That traveled, and it was fun. We really enjoy it. We really do enjoy it.
The weather was perfect, and I think a good day was had by most everybody.
You could not ask for a better weather day for this area for that event.
Well, of course, I had to put a jacket on and then take it off and then put it on, but that's okay.
It's okay.
It was better than, people having to stand in the blazing heat. And anyway,
it was nice.
It would be much warmer had it happened today.
Oh, gosh.
Much warmer. And you never know. You
never know.
When those things are scheduled, of course, it's months in advance, and who knows what the weather's going to bring.
And then the second one, we had a false. We thought Fifi was in labor.
Yes.
But she wasn't. And then she ended up going in labor.
That's right.
The previous day.
Previous, not previous.
I mean, the next day. And first of all the babies and everybody's doing well.
That's right.
Everybody's doing well. That was an intense situation that we didn't see coming for sure.
No. And goats can be so unpredictable. They lay down and you think that they're having contractions, and there's a little bit of leakage a couple of days before, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're in labor, which is what we found out.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we were here for the actual labor.
Yes.
It would not have gone well had we not been here.
It would have not gone well. But luckily, we're here almost all the time, though.
We are.
Well, I mean, we go to town, from time to time. If we want to go do something, we may go catch a movie. But for the most part, 90% of the time, we're here.
Well, especially with our false alarm that happened, we knew that it was near.
That's right.
And so we just continuously stayed nearby, and as it got closer and closer and closer to time, you knew it. So Capri is not far behind. I'm not exactly sure how far behind.
Right.
I was thinking about 3 weeks, and I mean, I could be wrong. Of course, Fifi went to 145 days, which they say between 140 and 150. So the 30th was her actual.
I got you.
5-month date.
I got you.
And we're not there yet. So she's already got babies, and oh yeah, it was a stressful time.
It was stressful. It lasted an hour and a half. Generally it should only last 30 minutes. But then there's a fine line between 30 minutes and 2 hours.
Yeah, so when did she start actually going into?
And when you need to help, because if they say if you help too early, then you could mess things up too. So
that's right. As she was pushing, what would happen is a contraction would come really hard, and we initially thought we could see something.
Yeah.
And that thought turned into reality.
Yeah.
And that's when we knew that we had to do something. And I actually thought, when I first went in, that it was a snout, because of the leg was turned like this. And so I thought what I was grabbing was the snout, when it was actually the bend of the back legs.
Yep. Then and the whole time we had Dr. D, we're texting him. So he was on standby. He was thinking that he may have to do a C-section.
Yeah, his comment to us was, if she doesn't have it in an hour, can you get her here?
This is after an hour.
Yeah. And we were thinking, I told Jason, I said, just tell him yes, because I just felt confident something was going to happen within that hour. And I didn't even want to think about having to get her to him.
Yep.
Because we had no surgical setup
at the barn,
and we won't. I mean, it's not a medical facility.
It's not a hospital.
So his thinking was, we needed a sterile environment if he was going to have to do a C-section and get her to him. So luckily that didn't happen.
Luckily that happened. And I didn't, I just said that, and I should have went back and added something else to the video, but because everything that was going on, I didn't explain exactly. I just said it was a breech baby. But what happened is he was turned this way. And so he was trying to come out like this backwards. So this is his head. He wasn't coming head first. He was coming rear end first. So this leg went out like this, and this leg was folded like this, and it was all hitting, and he was trying to come out sideways. So that's exactly how it was going, and we had to adjust and readjust and get it.
Not only would it have been bad had we not been here, it would have been bad had Jason not been here, because I didn't feel that I was strong enough to actually pull. It took both of us.
It did take both of us.
It took both of us. And y'all, we were so scared we were gonna do something bad to Fifi getting the baby out, because you only had so much room to work. And but had that first baby not came out, the other two would have, of course, never made their appearance.
Right.
So that first baby being backwards was a mess.
It was a mess.
It was a mess. And needless to say, when I woke up the next day, I felt terrible. And I told Jason, I was like, I don't know what I did. I mean, pulling those babies was, it was using a little bit of muscles, but not too bad. And Jason said, it was probably the stress of it all.
Stress of it all.
As y'all, we had some human hearts beating really fast. Mary Carl included.
Mary Carl was there too. Yeah, she was helping. They could hear Mary Carl in the videos, but couldn't see her. But she was helping. And then your mom came later on.
She did.
Yep, your mom came later on.
We had to have some more towels.
Some more towels.
And of course, a lot of people said we needed a bulb. We have a bulb. We have a suction to clear out the mucus. However, when things happen, it happens like that, and you don't necessarily have everything right there where you need it. But it worked out, and little Curtis, he's alive and well, thank goodness. I just never, ever, ever would have dreamed that he would be breathing today.
No, it was scary. The video was cut down pretty short. Well, because we quit recording. Mary Carl was recording, but we just told her to stop, and she was helping. And
we needed all hands on deck, and that's when the camera cut off, because obviously their health was much more important than catching something.
That's right.
On video.
And I don't know how many times. And that's what they tell you to do. That's what we've read and seen and all that is, you turn them upside down and you gently, I've seen them even swing them.
Yeah. More on a calf than a goat. And that was
I've seen them swing a goat.
Huh.
But
every time we did it, more stuff would come out of his mouth.
Well, and it's not, it's all in his lungs and stuff. And so, but anyways, that's what we did, and it worked. It worked,
but I did not think it was going to work. And as bad as this sounds, we were okay with that. As long as Fifi was okay, and we were able to get, the babies out safely, then that was our priority. But thankful that it turned out the way it did. Thankful.
To be honest, I was 99% sure he was not going to make it.
Oh, me too. I was so prepared. He was really, really thin. And I think it was probably the way he was positioned, for one. And then two, there was 3 babies in there.
Yeah.
So, y'all, it was a tedious situation. But Fifi is a wonderful mama.
She's awesome.
She is a wonderful mother.
She is awesome.
You couldn't ask for a better goat. so Laura at Simply Making It reached out to me after she watched the video, and she said, I know who to call when I have goat delivery problems. She said, y'all were so cool and calm and collected, and it was just like you rehearsed it and knew what to do. And my response to her was, editing works miracles.
I will say this. I was talking to both of them, Ryan and Michael, and I told them, what happened, and I said, getting him out and all was fairly quick after you step back and look, but during that whole,
oh my goodness, it felt like it took forever.
It does. Everything slows down. Everything just slows way down, and it's meant to.
Yeah.
So you can perform or
process it all.
Yeah. It was just everything was kind of in slow motion, and it was really weird looking back on it now. When things happen like that.
That's right.
It was I don't know.
We thought about doing the live out there this morning.
We did.
But we think we'll give her until probably the Tuesday live, and it may be that we can work out where we can be out there with those babies, because y'all, I mean, they of course they get sleepy real quick.
Yeah, they sleep a lot
after they get their drink. Then they're out for a little bit, and they all three tend to lay in a little ball together. But when we go in there and sit down, then one of them is going to find a lap.
Yes.
So they're very loving, very sweet, and Fifi has no problem sharing her babies with us. And it's been a remarkable time with 3 babies.
Mm-hmm.
I never dreamed that she was going to have 3. Never dreamed.
No, and that was that part I left on the video is when I don't have myself on Do Not Disturb.
You left what in the video?
When the 3rd one came out. We were shocked.
Well, it just was like everything, she was comfortable after that 2nd one.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
she was so involved in cleaning those babies up, and we had in our mind it was over.
Yeah, we did,
and we weren't paying any attention to see that there was no afterbirth.
Yep.
We just thought too. We thought we were done. And then, here comes another one.
It was fun. It was scary, but then it was so rewarding afterwards.
Yeah, it's not something that I would want to do for a living. No. Be on standby for a baby to be born.
Oh goodness. Oh my gracious.
But I guess if it wasn't yours, it would be different. You would be in a life-saving mode and know what you were signed up for.
I guess so.
We kind of didn't know we were signed up for. I mean, anything could happen in any kind of delivery, but this was literally life-saving for mama and babies.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. If somebody asking Kurt, they can walk fine.
Oh, they can walk fine.
They're hopping.
They're hopping. And a matter of fact, Little Red and Curtis were headbutting yesterday. So not hard, you could just see them leaning in with their heads. And I said, goodness. Oh my goodness, the fun has begun.
It is.
But y'all, they're, I'm sure all of you have probably seen Nubian goats before, but their legs are so long, and it makes them look even thinner than what they are.
And their ears are so much longer. They kind of grow into their legs and their ears.
That's right.
Yeah.
They they're wonky looking at this point. Yeah. But still cute.
They remind me of Bambi when Bambi tries to walk on the ice.
Gosh, y'all.
Just like that.
I can't tell you how excited I was when I went down later that evening to find little Curtis trying his best to get up. And all of a sudden, he steadied himself, and he was wobbly, but he got his footing, and that was a proud mama moment. Well, grandma moment.
Oh, me! It was it was
Now let's hope.
Stressful.
Let's hope that Capri doesn't have any complications.
Yeah, I know it. Now you're gun shy.
Oh gosh, I'm so scared. I mean, like yesterday, I was looking at her and I was like, "Girl, do we need to get you in a stall?" Of course, it's not time yet, but you want to be as prepared as you can, and I can guarantee you, we will have all of our things together this time. All of our things.
Yeah, we live and learn.
Yeah, but I did have
We had towels and we had the puppy pad. We had some stuff ready.
It was just your brain is not working like
Yeah.
it should in the moment.
That's right.
So yeah, we'll have everything right there.
And we've had how many times have we had goat babies?
We've had quite a few. And Mary Carl reminded me and you that when Fifi had her last Paris and Rabbit, that we had to help her then. But it wasn't like this kind of help.
Yeah.
You weren't out there. It was me and her.
Yep.
It wasn't like this kind of help, not hurt. The legs were coming out and we just pulled.
Yeah.
But not like this.
Right.
Not like this at all.
No, not like this.
It makes me nervous. And of course, we don't breed animals to sell. That's not what that's not our I want to milk the goats.
Yeah.
And without the babies being born, there is no way for the milk to be produced. So of course I won't milk right away. She has 3 babies. The babies need to have all that they can stomach at this point. And then once her udder starts being full and they start eating grain, then we'll start transitioning to milking. But that's not going to happen right away.
Yeah, we're not going to take away from the babies.
Not going to. And nobody does, unless you have, now if she had one baby.
Yeah.
If she had one baby and she had a lot of milk, then of course we could do it. But not right now. Not right now. What's the little girl's name? Is that what she said? Laura.
Laura.
We named her Laura. Laura from Simply Making It.
Yep.
That is where both Fifi and Capri came from. And Laura sent me a picture yesterday of her and her goat that kind of started her milking. Her name was Gertrude. And I'm not sure if there's a big glare or not, but that is Fifi's grandmother. Is that right?
I think that's right.
Fifi's grandmother. And so we named our little girl Laura after our fantastic mentor.
And I saw a lot of people say that where did the names come from and all that. Oh,
we just spit them out.
They just pop in my head. I don't know why Curtis, but Curtis just felt right.
We didn't think about it prior. Obviously, we didn't know there was going to be 3 babies. But
obviously not.
When it happened, it was just, I would say the little girl was a miracle, and Laura's kind of a miracle for us. So Laura was fitting, and then Little Red, y'all, he is
Old Red.
Well, I call him Little Red right now because he's little.
He's little.
But he's just his coloration is so much darker than the other 2 that he looks. It looks red.
It looks red.
So I don't know if that'll fade over time, but his name's going to stick if I have anything to do with it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But Curtis, somebody asked at the meet and greet. They had some questions. Why did?
Oh yes, that was. Why
did I call so and so?
Honeymooners.
Just pops in my head. Just absolutely just pops in my head. I don't know where it comes from.
Well, the babies are they're all 3 miracles. So who knows? Capri just may have 1 baby.
That's all she's ever had.
That's right.
It's just 1.
And Laura has seen a pattern in hers, when a doe continuously breeds with the same buck, she may have the same gender. And now she has a different buck.
I got you.
And she's seeing some variation in the sexes. But it's just typically how it goes.
And usually, like we were talking to Laura, and these genetics are from her group except Joe. Of course, Joe's not. But she says she's never had triplets.
Never had triplets. And another thing that really, really worried her is years ago she had brush goats. And she said that there was a time that she had triplets. And the mama culled one of them. One of the 3. And it was, my thinking is she couldn't take care of all 3 of them. And of course, brush goats are a lot smaller. And brush goats is just a slang word for a mutt. Yeah,
it's just mixed breed goat.
But they're not usually big. They're usually smaller, Nigerian dwarf pygmy size, maybe a little bigger. And she was so relieved to find out that Fifi, all 3 babies, she was accepting them, and they were all, they were all doing well because she had had that experience. And it just may have been that mama knew that she couldn't take care of all three of them.
It probably was just instinct.
Nature.
Yep.
Nature taking over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say good morning to Miss Ann Deal.
Oh, hey, Miss Ann.
I just want to tell Miss Ann good morning.
We hope you are doing well over there in the Carolinas, and good morning to you.
Good morning. Yes, I do have my Baltimore Orioles hat on. I would say our hometown hero or our hometown boy, Mr. Gunnar Henderson, is lighting it up.
He's tearing it up. I don't usually, I mean, not that I don't love baseball, but I don't usually share things that I see. But the other day, he made a play that was just off the charts, and I shared it to Jason. Of course, he had already seen it, but that boy has got it going on.
Oh my goodness. There's some Oriole fans on here, but whoo boy, Gunnar is.
He got it going on.
He's something special.
He sure is.
And it just still blows my mind. Anyways, blows my mind. I worked with his granddaddy for years, so blows my mind that that he's that good.
Yep.
Just crazy.
Amazing. Isn't it?
Amazing.
Yep. Sure is.
I'm glad Gunnar didn't pop in. I could have named Curtis Gunnar.
You sure could have. He might would have made headlines if he had been named Gunnar.
Oh my gracious. Woo.
So it's a beautiful day here in Alabama, and we don't have any rain in the forecast.
Now I don't know how we're missing all this terrible,
oh my goodness, I saw this
awful
morning.
weather that's coming from the west and heading this way, but it must be going up, and because they're not showing us having any rain. I mean, it's like we're going on. I hope it's not a pattern like it was last year where all of a sudden it just turned off and we had zero rain.
Yeah.
But now we're in we're getting close to 2 weeks with no rain now.
Yeah. And it seems that happens every year. You know, we get to that drought point and we say, oh, we're going to wish we had that rain back that we had in February.
I know it.
You know, March, sometimes a little bit wetter, but yeah, it's dry here. But you got the garden planted and you got your drip tape in there.
I put the drip irrigation in, so we're good to go.
We're good to go.
We are good to go. And we got drip on the fruit orchard, so we should be good. But the weather's been awful. Those tornadoes I saw in Iowa and Nebraska and
yes, no joke.
In the Midwest, man. God bless y'all up there.
Yeah, I saw some damage this morning, and I tell you, they can be devastating. So, you got your onions harvested.
Got the onions harvested. And I'm going to add that little bit to the video so I can let people know exactly. But got the onions harvested. I pulled them a little early because the weeds had starting to take over, and you could hardly see the onions anymore. But and I'm no perfect gardener. I don't want nobody to think I am. I had weeds, and they were just you couldn't see the onions hardly. So I pulled the onions up, and the way I like to do mine is pull the onions up, let them sit outside in the sun for 2 days. So, and I saw the weather. We weren't going to have any rain. So I was like, it's a good time to do it now. And you do that because it starts to create that paper shell that onion has.
The preservation.
And that allows you to be able to store the onions for long term. So got those guys pulled up, and this year I'm doing a little different. This year, normally I would hang them up, and last year I did it on the side porch, and we used to do it on the front porch of our old little barn because I really didn't have anywhere else to do it. And it works. It works good, but what happens is those stems will just deteriorate, and you'll go out there, and there'll be 3 onions laying on the ground.
And then you'll have a dog carrying an onion around.
So this year, I got them on open shelving that's completely open. It's like screen. You could do screen. I've seen a lot of people do screen, but
airflow comes all the way through it.
Yep. So they're in the big barn.
In the big barn.
Yep.
And they can dry there rather than being hung up and find onions laying on the concrete or in a dog's mouth.
That's right. They and usually 30 days and they're good. Now you can eat them now, but generally what we have found is they're a little more pungent right off the bat.
My mama does not care.
Mama don't care.
In the past, she said, "Can I have one of those onions?" And we're like, "Well, they're not quite ready yet."
They haven't cured all the way.
What do you mean they're not quite ready yet? And she'll use it anyway. But it's nothing like having a homegrown onion.
They're really good.
And they preserve so well. So
and onion is one of those things that I used to try to grow and was terrible at it. But it's one of those things is there's really two things that if you're not doing right, then they don't grow well or you're going to be a failure at it. And if you do it right, they're the easiest thing in the garden you can grow because there's really no pest, there's really no disease. And here where we live in Alabama, we plant them in the fall, they overwinter, and we harvest them in late spring. And I mean, just you don't do anything. You don't have to worry about, like I said, there was weeds growing all over them. You couldn't even hardly see them. So the two things is that you're either growing the wrong onion, which is either you got three onions. You got short day, long, midday, and long day onions. And depending on where you live in the country, how much sunlight you get, what type of onion you grow. And then it is buying, if you buy those little slips from the
big box store,
usually they're not gonna do well. So the type of onion or where the onion comes from, and starting from seed is easy peasy. It really is.
But you were this close to giving up on onions altogether forever because
you were unsuccessful. Give up on onions until Hoss got onion seeds, and I decided to try the onion seeds, and just crazy.
It's amazing how that teeny tiny seed can turn into something like that.
It is. But the number one mistake is growing the wrong onion. You're growing a long day onion and you live in Alabama and your days aren't long enough. And then your onions are not going to grow well. It's just going to be a failure. That's the number one mistake. And then, growing them, trying to plant them in the spring when you should plant them in the fall.
So they can overwinter and grow during the kind of, what's usually your off season.
Yep. We went to a big box store for something, Lowe's or Home Depot, and there's onions all out there, for you to plant. And I know there's probably no telling how many people buy them.
Yeah, and that same onion that comes to Alabama is probably being shipped to California.
Probably so. And it's two different onions.
So it's not going to be what you need for your... And that could be frustrating because then you've put all your time and effort into, first of all, spending your hard-earned money and then planting the things that never do well. So, anyway. Well, y'all saw my video, if you saw my video, where I took a tumble with my swing. Y'all, I'm telling you. As soon as the swing hit the ground, Jason was doing something else. I had my phone, was in the swing with me. I sent Jason a text and I said, the bolts broke. And I sent him a picture of the bolts. And he said, oh no. He said, I think I may have some different bolts. I'll come over there and help you. And I said, no. I said, we're not going to eliminate this part out of the video and rehang that swing up. It's what happened. And we're going to leave it the way it was. And thankfully, neither Tip nor myself was hurt. But it was a good way to say, don't give up.
Well, you sent me the text. Well, before we do this, I want to answer this question real quick because I saw it pop up several times about the onions. How do you know what area you live in, and how do you know what onion you're getting? You can Google. There's a map that shows you what area you live in, and buy them from a reliable source like Hoss. Hoss sells the slips now.
Mm-hmm.
So
will they sell them for each variety? I mean, each zone as to where you are?
Yes, I believe so. Okay. So,
but you don't want to buy them right now.
No. This will be for next year. So get them from a reputable place, and it should tell you what type of onion it is, and Google your map. Getting back to you, it scared me at first because I looked at the text and I thought, I'm scared about I thought you got hurt. I didn't know if you were hurt or not. And then that's the first thing I asked you was, are you okay? You hurt?
Mhm.
And you said, no, I'm not. Everything's fine. And I was like, phew, okay. And then you showed me the video, and it it was funny, but I'm glad you didn't get hurt.
Well, I sent it to Catherine, and she said, I just spit my drink out laughing. And then she said, oh, but are you okay? She said, I'm sorry I didn't ask you if you were okay first, but I couldn't help but laugh because it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then Mary Carl, she had to make her some slow motion out of it and recreate the whole thing and, put some funny music to it and all that good stuff. But I tell you, I cannot believe those bolts broke off.
I can't believe the bolts broke off. And here's the funny thing about it is that, Brooke wears a mic. And I have the mic set up as foolproof because Brooke's not tech savvy. She's just not. And so I have it as foolproof as I possibly can get it. I mean, I turn it on. She sees how to work it. You can see, but for some reason, the mic was working. When you set the camera down and videoed you and Tip getting in the swing, there's no volume. There's zero volume. And we have no idea why, because when you cut the camera back on,
it worked.
It worked. So you were like, I don't know why. I don't know why. And I don't know why. Usually I can figure it out, but I have no idea why it didn't work. And so there's no volume.
And I didn't even say any bad words either. So there was no reason for it to just cut off.
No idea why it cut off, but I found the perfect music to put in there. It worked out great. I think it even made it better.
Well, Jason came to me after he finished editing it, and of course asked me if that was okay, and I said yes. And then he asked me if it was okay if he used that for the thumbnail, which the gentleman that he is, he wants to make sure that I don't have hard feelings about. Well, it was what it was.
Yeah,
the swing fell, and I said, of course not. But y'all, it was frustrating to say the least. It was frustrating because I would have thought that the swing would have came apart before that happened.
Before the bolts broke.
It was just a freak thing. And poor little Tip. Thank goodness neither me nor him were hurt because he loves his swing.
Oh, gosh.
He loves his swing.
He does love the swing.
But we're going to get it.
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 And the fact that I was able to catch Nugget turning the eggs was just the added part of that video.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I mean, that was something that neither Jason nor I had witnessed that close.
Not like that. Yeah, not that close. We've seen him do it, but it's been from a distant.
I just happened to be walking by, going back to the swing, and there he was. So if y'all didn't see that video and you want to see an emu turning eggs, it's in there. It was pretty cool.
It's absolutely amazing. He's doing an amazing job.
He is.
He is. I'm guessing he probably gets up 4 to 5 times a day.
He does. And it's not like he takes a walk. He just kind of stands up, stretches.
And then he does walk the little area right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I tell you what I found.
Yeah.
Goldie, there have been numerous occasions when I'm like, what is Nugget doing? And it's not Nugget, it's Goldie.
It's Goldie.
She's over there where he is, just parading around.
So I recently found out, and I read it. And I can't remember what I was searching for, but they said that she is monitoring and protecting and watching for anything to come up.
Huh.
She's the one that will attack if I'm guessing if a predator was to come up.
Okay. So she's the guard dog.
She's the guard dog.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, she hasn't shown any kind of authority to us.
Oh no.
And
she lets us pet her now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all, it is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna tell you something. That girl can eat.
Oh my gracious.
She loves her emu food. we feed the geese, of course, laying food, and it's fine for her to eat that. But we swapped a long time ago to Klombach ratite feed, which is what emus are, is a ratite.
Right.
And when we did that, you could just see the nugget transformation. You know, he loved that food immediately. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, Goldie thinks it is candy. She has access to that food. Of course, we feed her every single day. But if she were to run out of her food, she doesn't want the laying crumble. She wants her ratite food.
She'll pace up under.
She'll pace until
in the morning time. She's up there pacing like, y'all better come on now.
And literally, you know, the old coffee cans that we use for feed scoops, the Maxwell House coffee can.
Yeah.
She literally, that's what we feed her. And she eats a lot.
She eats a lot of it.
I wonder if her laying all those eggs, you know, 17 eggs has got to take a lot out of you, is one of the reasons that she's eating so much, even now, because, gosh, that girl can eat.
She can eat. She can put it down.
She can eat.
She must got a high metabolism.
You know, that area in her chest, it just hangs down now. You could just see it swinging.
She puts it down, and she's still strutting again.
She is,
and she's drumming.
Yesterday, you and I were out there, and boom, 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 boom. I mean, it's amazing. Gosh, I hope she doesn't start laying again.
Oh, gosh.
Well, she won't have a mate, so it won't matter.
Yep. It their strut is.
I mean, it's like a runway. It is.
I know y'all have seen it, but every time she does it, I mean, she is showing out. I mean, she acts like she's got high heels on.
She does.
She's walking down the red carpet with I don't know, no designer. I was going to say Gucci, a designer of a dress.
Yeah, you could say
Gucci
so.
dress.
She's proud of herself.
And she is, I'm talking about, I mean, she is working it hard.
Well, obviously, Nugget thought she was very attractive, and she worked it very well, because it didn't take long before they have 17 eggs.
Well, that's true. I mean, the way she does her feet, it's just, it's all slow and just, boom, boom. I mean, she is just in it hard.
She's proud of herself, that's for sure.
Ooh,
she is very proud of herself.
I mean, man, she works it.
I tell you, she has been frequenting the pond. Yesterday, I saw her out there swimming.
She likes the pond.
She does. She really, really enjoys the pond, especially as warm as it's been here. She gets down, and all you can see is her neck sticking out. You entered that in one of the videos.
Not yet.
Oh, you didn't?
Not yet.
But y'all you can see is her neck sticking out, and it is just, it's a crazy sight.
She is something. I tell you what, I get tickled when she's strutting. I know what I'm talking about, but it is so funny. Is that not only, and she's, you know, she does this little sideways thing.
Yeah, she does.
She turns and she starts walking kind of sideways. I mean, she wants you to see her.
Well,
I mean, she is working it hard.
And we have seen other female emus. We had 2 different friends that had them, and I've never seen anything like that.
I ain't never seen one strut like that.
Well, maybe she's eating so much because that big, you know.
She's working it. I know that. I'm glad there's no more male emus around.
I'm glad
I can tell you that
not too.
We have to beat them off with a stick.
We would.
Man, she's
a beautiful girl.
She is a beautiful girl.
And very proud of herself.
Very proud of herself.
Well, I'm glad she is. I'm glad she is. Do y'all remember the 2?
I tell you, if I had legs like that, I'd work it too.
I would too.
Heck yeah.
The 2 female geese that were sitting side by side that had all those eggs and they were coming out, I think they've gave up.
I think they gave up too.
I think they gave up. So it appears the only goslings that we're going to have this year are those 2.
And your duck that you've been watching by the greenhouse, she's still sitting.
She's still sitting. And yesterday, I said to myself, I don't want to bother her, but I want to know what she's got under her. So I picked her up. And of course, when I picked her up, she flew. But she came back.
She's been sitting too long.
I think it's too long. There's no. I tried to candle it with my phone, but of course, you know, it was in the bright daylight, and there was no way to see.
Yep.
But she's a mallard, and she's still sitting. But I think she's going to have to give up soon.
I did show the little ducklings in a little reel yesterday.
Y'all, those we did not know were sitting.
No, they come out of nowhere, and that's what they do.
They come out of nowhere. So we have 4. Well, it's a mixed duck that we brought from the old farm. Polka is what Mary Carl called her. And she came out with 4 little babies. One is brown and white, one is black and white, and 2 of them are just kind of solid. But I feed and water them right on the other side of the chicken fence.
Yes.
In between Moody, and that's where they eat and drink. And they've been there 3 weeks now?
Yeah, I think so.
They're doing well, and
they're
all
doing well.
4 have thrived, and they'll be able to fly. They're flying ducks, so
they'll hang out at a pond a lot. That's
right.
What threw us off, that they had babies, because I wish she'd take them back down to the pond.
She will eventually when she feels safe.
Oh me! I saw Dizzy Lizzy says that I need to make a short, and I do. And I always say this: I'm gonna catch her. And there's that song that says "All the pretty girls walk like this."
Yeah.
This I'm gonna put that to that music, because that's exactly what I think of. Is when she's putting it on, boy. She boom.
Yep.
Boom.
She is very much so
boom.
Strutting.
She's strutting.
And I don't know why she's strutting now. Maybe I don't know.
I'd strut.
You would? If your man was sitting on.
If I was a female emu looked like that, I'd strut. I would.
Well, it's quite entertaining, to say the least.
It is.
She has really transitioned from when we got her to now, as far as letting us, feeling comfortable with us.
Yeah, she really has. You notice there's no more pacing on the fence lines.
No. She knows she's here to stay, and she's satisfied, and she's got a good man in Nugget.
That's right.
Which surprised us all, I think. Not surprised he was a good man, that he sat on the eggs.
I am shocked that he sat on the eggs.
And we are still offering him food and water, and making sure he's okay. So I guess y'all could see that he's doing just fine.
No, he's fine.
He's doing just fine.
And then there were several people there that were, and I explained it in the video, but that were wondering about what goes in must come out. But he gets up and walks, and I don't have the perimeters. It's not big, but he does walk around the eggs and then does what he wants to do and sits back down. So,
well, he still, I don't know if you guys could see it from that video where he turned the eggs, but he is still grabbing just a couple of leaves and putting it on top. And
no idea why he's doing that.
I mean, he'll even try to pull something off the tree to add to the top of the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
What are 3 or 4 leaves going to do? Obviously, there's something going on up there that tells him he needs to add them.
No idea.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is just amazing.
Yeah.
Nature's amazing. Because who would have thought that man would have sat?
Ain't that true? I wouldn't have thought it, because y'all know I didn't think he was going to do it.
No, Jason just... So, we see, this is totally off the subject, but y'all, this is funny. So we sent the heads off for the Volkswagen bus.
And I meant to send this to her, and I forgot.
And
they're not on here either.
I don't know what heads are, but there's something that makes the engine go.
Cylinder heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we sent them to a gentleman in Georgia to rework them versus getting new ones. And so Jason insured them and shipped them through UPS because obviously, it's something we need back. Well, I had been asking him, had he heard from the guy?
Yeah.
And he said no, but he put his phone number in there. He put the Volkswagen guy's phone number in there, and we never heard from him. And so yesterday, I was in the barn, of course, visiting with the babies, and Jason comes in the barn, and he said, the heads are here. And I said, where? And he said, I'm going to put them in the beep beep. And so my mind is thinking that the heads are here.
Oh,
Jacqueline,
goodness.
Zach, and Eleanor. Their last name
is
Head.
Head Family Farm.
It never occurred to me the heads for the Volkswagen were there, and he was going to put them in the beep beep.
Oh, goodness.
All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Go put the heads in the beep beep. And y'all, we got a laugh out of it. We got a good laugh out of it. My mind was thinking he was going to put the heads in the beep beep.
Oh, goodness.
I think you laughed for a good 30 minutes.
I laughed
after
for
that.
it. I got tickled. I don't know why that tickled me, but I got tickled about that.
Well, the heads deserve to sleep in today, and we will tell them that story later.
Yeah, I wish they were on here.
It was quite funny. My mouth was like this. I was like,
What did they?
why are the heads here?
They didn't let us know they were coming by.
They came all the way from Tuscaloosa, and we didn't know it.
You know it.
The heads are here.
Oh, me.
Y'all, I'm telling you what. That wasn't funny.
Oh, goodness. So now I got a schedule with Donnie and
Get the
get
Volkswagen.
the bus back going.
That's right.
Yep.
That is right.
Yeah.
Because it's taking up a lot of room in the barn, and we need to be able to drive it.
Yep. And that was one reason we didn't take the little camper to the meet and greet.
That's right, because we couldn't get it out. It's on jacks.
The bus is blocking it. Yeah.
Well, there is an event that is being held today in Chilton County.
Oh, you know what? I found out where it is.
Well,
It's
saw
across
a
from
map.
Garrison's.
I saw a map. It's on 31.
I would like to go.
It's it's called the Strawberry Festival. And you guys may not know this about Chilton County, but not only is it peach country, it's strawberry country.
Yes.
And around every bend, it seems like there's another strawberry farm.
Strawberry and peaches are
Strawberries
everywhere.
and peaches. And
Everywhere.
so there's a strawberry festival in Chilton County. If you're anywhere nearby, it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to find. It's on Highway 31 in Thorsby, Alabama.
Yep.
And there's going to be a lot of vendors there.
It looked like it's across the street from Garrison's. And that's one of the feed stores we go to.
Well, it said something about the high school, and then there's a park.
Uh-huh.
So, 160 vendors.
It's stretched out.
It's got to
It goes past Garrison's, but looked like it started at Garrison's. And
what did Chestnut Hill say?
you won't miss it. It's blocking roads to the ballpark. It's right beside. It's gone.
Well,
it's just so many people.
it's something that we've never
Yeah.
been to, but they make a big deal about it. So it may be something that we want to check out.
Do they grow strawberry onions? They do. They put onions out there with the strawberry fields.
Do they?
I told you that.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me that the other day.
Yep.
There were a lot of workers out harvesting strawberries, and Jason said, "Are they harvesting strawberries or onions?"
Yep.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, they grow the strawberries and the onions.
What is that?
Same
Companion planting?
I guess so. So. Plus, that's another misconception here. Like I said, I don't know other parts. All I know is Central Alabama gardening. But we grow strawberries in the fall,
Right?
and harvest them in
The spring.
Mm-hmm. Just like we do onions. So I guess that's why they plant them side by side. You could do garlic the same way.
Strawberries here usually start to get ready about March the 1st, and that's give or take. What the weather does.
Yep.
But there are so many you pick strawberry fields, and then all the markets and stuff have fresh strawberries for sale, and it they don't last very long, probably a little over a month, and then the strawberries are gone till next year.
If we can, I would like to go over there.
We shall see.
See what we got going on.
But I do know next Friday is the first Friday, and that means downtown Clanton will have that Cousin's Maine Lobster food truck that I am ever so patiently waiting on. I tell you,
goodness.
I might use the app if I can figure out how to do it and place my order ahead of time, because that's what I'm going for.
That would be smart.
And I've been told that as the months go on, that the festival or First Friday gets bigger and bigger. So
be interesting to see. We enjoy that too.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to just get out and walk around.
And typically, Friday and Saturday is our weekend,
right?
The way our schedule works and the videos and all that. So,
do we freeze dry strawberries?
Oh yes,
absolutely. They are very good freeze dried. It's more of a crunch to it,
and it's way more intense.
Way more
intense flavor with a freeze dry strawberry. Whoo!
It is, but it's good.
It's good,
and it's a good way to preserve them. An easy way to preserve them. And I tell you, I have seen people that have started putting strawberries in mason jars, like a quart mason jar, and put them in the refrigerator. And they say that they last like 3 weeks without getting molded. And,
cool.
And I'm going to try that. I want to try it for myself and see if it actually works. Because, you know, when you put them in a bowl or a basket or whatever in the refrigerator, it doesn't take long before they start getting squishy and moldy. And
you're right.
And here at the You Pick thing, they're in the, I don't know what it is, size container, but it's a lot of strawberries.
It's a lot of strawberries.
So you'd have to share with friends to be able to eat that.
A lot of strawberries.
Quickly. Yeah. Somebody said they feel like Peeps when they're done, and that's exactly right.
Yeah, about right.
They are about like Peeps.
You know what I like?
What?
Strawberry shortcakes.
I like strawberry shortcake too.
I
and
really
your
do.
daughter has come to like a strawberry shortcake too. I bet if we go to the strawberry festival, there will probably be somebody making strawberry shortcakes.
I bet so too.
What do you think?
I bet so too.
And then there's a peach festival that's held here. I believe it's in July. We've never been to that either.
Never know that either.
So we're gonna try to.
We're newbies around here.
That's right.
We got to figure everything out. I want to say this though. I found me a new homemade ice cream. We have 2 farmers markets here, and one of them's called Peach Park. It's very big. It's on the interstate. It's kind of popular for travelers coming through. And there's another one that's called Durbin's Farmers Market. And they're kind of similar, but they're not. I don't know how that makes sense, but Peach Park is a little bit bigger.
They're kind of competitors, I guess you would say.
I guess so.
It's either you take a right or you take a left.
Yep. And Durbin's is on the interstate, but not as close as Peach Park, but they're really, really close. But they both sell homemade ice cream and peach stuff and that kind of thing. But I tried a homemade ice cream yesterday.
Yes, you
did.
did.
Mary Carl wanted ice cream, and we're like, well, let's go get. We were in town anyways. We had to go get some stuff. I said, let's go get some homemade ice cream, and we always go to Durbin's. And so we went to Durbin's Farmers Market, and we were in there, and I saw one that caught my eye. It was called Pina Colada. Now, I love ice cream called Miami Vice. It's got coconut and pineapple, and I think they're the same thing. You just got 2 different names.
Right.
So I said, I want the Pina Colada one. And you said, well, you need to try it first.
I said, what?
I said,
I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah, I'm sure. And I said, well, please try it first, because I would hate for you to get something that you just don't like.
But I did try it, and without hesitation, I loved it. So if you're in the area and you haven't had that Pina Colada ice cream, it's got coconut flakes in it. It's got chunks of pineapple in it.
It made me wish I had gotten it.
It was delicious.
Of course, Mary Carl gets peach. You know, she doesn't variate. She gets peach. And I said, well, I was debating in between just chocolate, just basic chocolate.
Basic chocolate.
And peach pecan. And so I got the peach pecan. But then after I tasted Jason's, I wanted to throw mine out the window and have his. His was fantastic.
Oh, the Pina Colada was so good.
It was very good.
It really was good.
It's something that you have a hankering for. That's a Southern term. You have a hankering for, and it doesn't get out of your head. You want some of that Pina Colada. So, Catherine, there you go. I know you always get ice cream at Durbin's. Try the Pina Colada if you have not, and tell us what you think about it.
It was really, 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 really good.
And there is a gas station next door to Durbin's. I don't know what it's called, but they have a homemade peach smoothie.
It's good too.
Oh my gosh.
It's good too.
It is so good. The texture of it, it's kind of like a milkshake, but not really. I love it. I love it. I could have one every day.
Oh, there's adventures of me and T.
How about them down there in Florida?
Ate at Peach Park.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. And the Flying Peach.
How about that?
And Main Street Cafe.
Okay. All 3.
We hit all 3.
We're so fortunate to have the little home.
We did.
Fruit stands and little restaurants and eateries. And what did Catherine say?
I think it has coconut. She's allergic to coconut.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't get the Pina Colada,
Don't get it. It does have coconut in it.
Get the Pina Colada.
Don't get it. We didn't say anything about you getting it.
Oh, me.
Well, it's about well, it's not quite time, but we're getting close to wrapping up, and that means that I get to go sit with babies.
You get to go sit with the babies.
Get to go snuggle with those babies, and I bet you today might be the day that they start running around, and you can see some of it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, but they're not full-fledged acting like babies yet. They're just doing a little jumping.
They're getting there.
They're getting there. But I bet today is going to be the day where we start.
And I want to mention this. Nobody said anything about it at all, but I want people not to get worried because they're really thin.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, and the baby goats like that, especially Nubians, they'll look kind of thin like that for a little bit, but they'll eventually fill on out.
They will.
So don't worry that they're not getting enough milk or anything like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our poor little Earl, our Nubian that we got many years ago.
Many years ago.
He was too thin when we got him. He was a couple of months old.
Yep.
But Nubians have characteristic to just have those sunken in, just a skinny.
It's dairy goats, kind of like a dairy cow. You know how Moody's got those hips that kind of sink in a little bit. They're just built different.
As babies.
Just built different. Yep.
Now, as they stay here on our farm, they get a little wider than they probably should.
Yeah.
But they look malnourished as babies.
Yeah.
And they're not.
So don't get scared with them.
That's right.
Yep.
Don't get scared.
Yep.
I'm not going to be scared.
And if you are showing up late, we talked about the babies at the first, and everybody's doing fabulous.
All 3 babies are doing very well. There are 2 boys and a girl. Jason calls him Old Red. I call him Little Red. Curtis and little Laura.
Little Laura.
And I don't know if I just imagine this, but I feel like Laura finds a lap quicker than the boys.
Yep.
She as soon as I sit down, she just is more loving than the other 2. I don't know what it is. But of course, if we decide to keep little Laura, which I think our minds are made up, we have Mo.
We got Mo,
who is not related and could, potentially breed back to her and keep that line going.
Yep.
With a different daddy.
And I was thinking too, we could do that, and that would be great because then we could let
Fifi and Capri have a break.
Yeah. Because we don't want to. Yeah.
I'm not a.
Exactly.
I'm not a breeder.
Yeah, we're not.
And I don't want something to be pregnant all the time.
Right. So I think that'd be a great.
And Paris, of course, next year.
Yes.
We could breed Paris next year, and she can be in milk, and then the next year Laura could be. Well, no, not the next year. The year after.
That's right.
Laura could be bred. So we have options. We have options. But y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. Those goats, meaning Fifi and Capri, they have the most beautiful udders. I didn't think I would ever say that, but it's crazy how full of milk and how full their udders are. And of course, Joe, helps when producing babies because he's got that strong milk line too.
Right.
So
we know Joe's got it.
Yeah, Joe's got it, and Paris is Joe's baby. So that makes me believe that Joe's going to be right there. I mean, not Joe, but Paris is going to be right there with her mama, Fifi, and we shall see, because they're both. I'm still putting them on the stand, both Capri and Fifi, and I'm still using the udder cream to soften Fifi's udder. Now,
but at the top, not not where the babies get.
Right.
Around.
Yeah. But I will say that after she had the babies, that udder did get a little bit hard again. Still using that cream, but of course, it's just nature.
Yep.
It's just taking over.
That's right.
So we're going to go play with some babies and maybe go over to a strawberry festival.
That's right.
See what's going on. It's supposed to be a beautiful day, and hope you guys do something fun as well.
Y'all be good.
Well, no, we got to get our coffee.
Oh. I was thinking about baby goats.
Yeah, you ready to go?
Got me messed up.
Well, I got a little bit left, but I'm going to chug it down after this. And the voting is still going on, right?
The voting's still going on, and I haven't checked it in a couple of days, but I checked it a few days ago. So if you still want to vote for butter caramel or southern pecan, go to the website, which is
www.cogkillfarm.com.
And vote for your favorite flavor coffee out of those two.
That's right. And now you can say it.
Y'all be good.